receive up to $1,000. Check your eligibility and apply online. Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
Thinking about quitting tobacco? It's easier when you have help. The PA Tobacco Quit Line is ready with free coaching, medication, and more to help you quit for good. Call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. That's 1-800-QUIT-NOW to get started. Or visit smokefreephilly.org to learn more about judgment-free support and free medications that triple your chance of success. The PA Tobacco Quit Line is free, it's confidential, and it works.
Tune into Reality Check with Tanya Pendleton every Tuesday in May at 11 a.m. for the Word on Women's Health, a weekly segment focusing on Black women's wellness. This segment is brought to you by the Pennsylvania Lottery, benefiting older Pennsylvanians every day.
Celebrating Black excellence worldwide and bringing joy and power to the people. This is WURD 900 AM and 96.1 FM, Philadelphia. Streaming online on wordradio.com and the Word Radio app. Expressed by the guests, listeners, and hosts of any program on Word Radio do not necessarily reflect those of the ownership, management, or advertisers of this station.
I'm simply saying that life finds a way.
All right, people, write something on the board. Let's spell it. First letter.
L. O. G.
What's that? What?
It's time. It's time to have real, honest, open, difficult, and inspiring conversations. It's time for Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Well, hey there, family. Hello, and welcome. Welcome to Love and Life with Carol Riddick right here on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. How are you today? I hope that everything is well in your world. I hope that you made out okay in this heat. Okay, I know, it was a little hot out there. It was a little hot out there. Nick, hello to you. Hello. Happy hump day. How are you today?
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm doing well. Thank you. How did you make out in the heat today?
The pack of gum that I left in my center console was sticking to the wrapper, so I wasn't very happy about that. And my car feels like it's 100 degrees because for some reason I got leather seats. Other than that, it was nice. Pretty good.
I'm okay. Well, I'm glad that the other was good. So, Nick, did you know that our very own Quinta Brunson named her hit award-winning series Abbott Elementary, for all of those Abbott Elementary lovers? I am one of those. After a teacher who inspired her. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Well, I was so happy to read this. Today, the real life Ms. Abbott, Joyce Abbott to be exact, was honored at Andrew Hamilton School, where Quinta Brunson was once a student in her class. That made me feel so good. So from what I read and what I saw, a painting now hangs in the office showing Ms. Joyce Abbott, Quinta Brunson, and Ms. Abbott's 102-year-old mother. I thought that was so awesome. And the office has been renamed to the Joyce Abbott Office in her honor. I thought that was so sweet. because I love the show. Do you watch Abbott Elementary?
It's funny. I don't usually watch a whole lot of TV. I catch it sometimes, and whenever I catch it, I tend to just sit down and watch a whole episode. But I'm not like I don't watch it every week or whenever it's supposed to come on. But I do like the show. I think it's pretty funny.
I
But I
love it.
do I do like I think the humor in there is pretty good. It's very reminiscent of The Office,
Oh
but
yeah.
there's just more black people around, which is it's good, and it's a funnier setting too, since they're working around elementary school kids.
Yes. Yeah.
But
Well, you know.
I think that's a beautiful thing. Teachers they're this group in
Mhm.
in our country, and they do all these wonderful things for us. None,
Mhm.
the least of which is looking after all these kids. And I feel like for all those teachers that are out there that maybe just one student liked or this or that, they just never seem to get the credit that they're due. We always get angry at them whenever they mess up on a student or they do the wrong thing or this and that. But those teachers that really are there that inspire the students, I
Yeah.
think they need to be more readily recognized, whether it's by the school,
Oh,
whether it's by the students, whoever, maybe even the mayor or the state, whoever, because it takes a lot to do that job day in and day out.
what? Oh, absolutely. And you know what? To that point, all of my teachers, especially my grade school teachers, they were so instrumental in my life. They played such big parts. And I will never forget my um first grade teacher was Sister Barbara. And Sister Barbara, she used to always teach me about patience. My second grade teacher was Mrs. Milburn, Mrs. Jane Milburn, who taught me. She worked with me on my penmanship, and people even talk about my penmanship nowadays. She cracked those knuckles though, but she taught me about my penmanship. Ms. Cronin was my third grade teacher. Sister Barbara took me to John Wanamaker to buy my mother a Mother's Day gift. Like my Ms. Demby was my fifth grade teacher. Like there were every single one of my grade school teachers holds such a special place with me, so much that in my adult life we used to get together once a month. And I look at this video all the time. I made a video of this one time we all went out. I suggested, are you familiar with Grounds for Sculpture? It's a place in Hamilton, New Jersey, but they have these oversized sculptures. But in any event, I suggested it to my teachers one time, my grade school teachers. Let's just go. Let's just go. And Nick, it is still one of the highlights of my life, of my entire life, because I was watching these women who contributed so much to my life as a child. They were hanging out with me in my adult life. It was like a hug to my heart. It really was.
Yeah, I'm not sure how many people actually like reach out, like even to those teachers that students really like. How often do you hear about, somebody actually reaching back out to, as far as like student teacher relationships? Because I think some people, they think in the back of their mind, like that dynamic still exists. Like, oh, this is still my teacher. And, they're however many years older than me. And so this and that. But I mean, I haven't gone out to eat with any of my older teachers or anything like that. But like, I have tried to keep in contact with a few of the ones that I really liked, just to see how they were doing. Like when
Mhm.
I first started going to Cheney, I remember I was waiting in the like admissions line or something like that, and I just emailed one of my teachers to let him know that I'm like, hey, I'm in Cheney now, and he responded back. He goes, oh my goodness, that's great. I didn't know that you went to go do this and do that. And it's funny because I guess with a lot of people that relationship just kind of drops off. You graduate and then they go on to do what they do, and then you go on to do what you do. So
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right about that. My teachers were so like they were so supportive in everything. Everything. My teachers, they come to my shows. They were still in touch with my mother when I would travel, and they would check on me. They really, all of them, even my grade school principal, Sister Frances Paula, she did the same thing. And she actually she worked at my high school. I went to Hallahan, and she worked at my high school. So I spent so much of my life with these teachers, with these women, these human beings that contributed so much in my life. But so that just made me smile. It really it really made me smile when I saw the story today. And then I was reading about it. And I read that the teacher, Joyce Abbott, she's now retired from the school district of Philadelphia, but she was in tears as she spoke about just trying to understand the impact that she had on Quinta's life and those of some of our other students. So I wanted to share that with everybody because it felt good. It's a feel good story. Family, listen, let us know that you are hanging with us. I love it when you let us know that you are there. You can do so by sharing a comment on our socials, or you can even call us. Yes, you can. You can do that by dialing 215-634-8065, or you can even call us toll free. You can do that by dialing 1-866-361-0900. Don't you think that I'm going to forget to share our Black History 365 moment, because I am not. Today's Black History 365 moment is about Charlotte E. Ray. Charlotte E. Ray graduated from Howard Law School on February 27th, 1872, becoming not only the first female African-American lawyer in the United States, but also the first practicing female lawyer in Washington, D.C. Upon graduating in 1872, she opened a law practice specializing in commercial law. However, she was unable to maintain her practice due to race and gender discrimination. She returned to New York in 1879, where she worked as a teacher in Brooklyn and was active in the women's suffrage movement until her death at the age of 60. Family, that is today's Black History 365 moment. Happy birthday to all of our love lights who are celebrating a birthday. Happy birthday to you. Yes, yes, yes. And as always, I wouldn't forget you. I am sending extra love and hugs to each and every one of you. If your light is shining even the slightest bit dimly today, we want you to know that your entire tribe and village right here is holding you down. We've got you, okay? We are right here and we're not going anywhere. How about that? I do want to share some things with you before we get further into tonight's episode. First of which is that that June is Black Music Month, but this year, the word message in the music series presents Trans-Afro Express, the global impact of African, Caribbean, and African American music. Join us on Friday, June 14th from 6 p.m. until 11 p.m. at World Cafe Live, located at 3025 Walnut Street. This event features a panel discussion, live performances, and the flyest Afrobeat, reggae, hip hop, and R&B dance party in Philly. So if you love to dance and you want to learn more about the global impact of our music, well, join us on Friday, June 14th from 6 until 11 p.m. at World Cafe Live. Admission is $20 in advance and only $25 at the door. So get your tickets now at wordradio.com. This Black Music Month event is in partnership with Fun Times Magazine and is brought to you by the Pennsylvania Lottery, Comcast, Keystone First, and Pico. I also want to share with you that our very own love bug, Tiffany Bacon, is hosting a new show. Tune in to Breaking Bread every Sunday, where Tiffany will broadcast from a different restaurant, eatery, or chef's kitchen, where delicious delights and curious conversation are on the menu. Special guests will join Tiffany for brunch, where the conversations will focus on culture, business, health and well-being, media, literature, and the arts. Break bread with us every Sunday from 11 a.m. until 12 noon, right here on Word, Progressive Black Talk Media. So, family, I'm excited about tonight's show. Our guest is coming. He's going to join us in just a few moments. And I want to talk to you about two things, actually, before we move forward. I saw something today. It scared the crap out of me. First of all, let me read you three things that I saw. Now, since we had our guest, Bob Woodson, if you will recall, it seems that I am now reading all kinds of stories about our penal system. Just every day I'm seeing something different taking place. Well, today's story, I read that dozens of children who were sent to juvenile detention centers and similar facilities in Pennsylvania suffered physical and sexual abuse, including violent rapes, according to 4 related lawsuits filed today. The lawsuits describe how 66 people, now adults, say that they were victimized by guards, nurses, supervisors, and others. Some attacks were reported to other staffers and were ignored or were met with disbelief, the lawsuits allege. I was horrified when I read that, but it brought me right back to the conversation we were having with Mr. Woodson just last week. I have a question about this other story. This other story I read today, Nick, OMG. This story reads that a Philadelphia neighborhood is dealing with a serious rat infestation. It has cost residents thousands of dollars in car damages. Did y'all know about this? I read that Fox 29 Steve Keeley spoke to residents and city officials about the rat problem that one owner described as apocalyptic. It reads, I was shocked because I didn't know if it was a rat. I thought it was a cat or a possum. This is one Watts Street resident. And another Watts Street resident shared that you can hear them screaming, making noises. He shared it's so creepy. It reads that the latest string of car break-ins in the city has happened on Watts Street in South Philadelphia, and rats are the culprits. They call it rat jacking. Have you heard about that? Nick, have you heard about that? I was so shocked when I read that today. Anybody, family, did you? Well, are you experiencing this?
I've never heard anything like that. I've been seeing more rats in the city, not necessarily in the South Philly section of the city. I've been in West Philly a lot, and I've been seeing rats in the daytime, which is like, I thought they don't. I mean, I know they're not like, but I never thought I'd be seeing them in the daytime and outside of, a SEPTA subway system. But I've been seeing them in West Philly.
Now listen, let me tell you something. You heard me talk the other day about the flying roach that I saw that had me jump out of my skin. I'm terrified. Okay, I am terrified of rodents. Like terrified. I don't even know, and that's an understatement. Okay, that's an understatement. I jumped 4 feet when I saw. Nick, I don't know if you remember me sharing this. Family, I don't know if you recall, just a few days ago, I was sharing that I saw what I thought was a leaf. It was not a leaf. It was a flying roach. It was huge. I am not exaggerating. That is not my fear talking. That is the reality of it all. I don't know what's happening. Well, yes, I do. Yes, I do. Oh, but y'all, I'm terrified. I do want to share. I see that you are checking in, and I'm going to let everybody know. Nasir Butler, hey there, Nasir, is sharing peace and blessings with everybody. Khalil Rashid, hey there. He sends good evening, and he also follows it with peace, love, and joy to the word. Family listeners and radio producers, hey there, Nick. Malcolm shares, watching and listening from West Mount Airy. Good evening to everybody. And Nasir, what did you see on the news today? You saw the story about Quinta Brunson. Yeah, I thought that was so amazing about her and her teacher. Malcolm shares that he loves the show. He likes the show, but sadly, he sometimes misses it because he gets it mixed up. I don't know when it comes on. I just see it on Hulu. I have no idea what day it comes on. I always catch the Hulu show. Eric shares, hey there, family. Hey there on this wild, warm Wednesday. It's most certainly is. It is a wild, warm Wednesday. And Lakeisha Boston, our love light, is joining us. Hi there, Lakeisha. So happy to have you as well. Malcolm said he saw the story. You saw the story about the rats? Listen, I've never heard of a rat breaking into a car. I don't even know how to process that. What I don't know. What were they saying? Were they chewing the what? Like what? Tell me, y'all. Like, what were they doing? Hey there, Walt. Walt Reader Jr. is checking in and joining us, and he's sharing that today is a great day. He's just checking in. Yes, it is a great day. Congrats to you, Walt. His son graduated. Congrats to you. I know you are, just bursting with joy. And so, rightfully so. Congratulations to you. Eric shares that he sees rats on the Market Frankfurt L platform. See, now that I can say, okay, I anticipate that. I anticipate seeing them on the subway platforms or in the train stations, but that sounds bizarre to me. A rat being responsible for a car break-in. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Family, we're going to take a short commercial break, but don't you fret because we do have a guest tonight and a conversation that I'm anxious to have. Stay with us because we're coming right back.
Check out the Envy McKee Show, aka Star Folk University, Fridays at 7 p.m. Join the life explorers, thought leaders, visionaries, intuitives, psychics, and more for an evening of out-of-this-world discussions. Bring a journal, a pen, and 3 friends. Class is in session from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Only on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Get ready to kick off summer with the new instant $1 million jackpot from the Pennsylvania Lottery. Scoot on down to your local retailer for your chance to win big. Don't delay. Pick up yours today. Players must be 18 or older. Please play responsibly. Problem Gambling Helpline, 1-800-GAMBLER.
People say our country is facing polarization like never before. At Inform Your Community, we're on a mission to change that narrative. We believe that even in disagreement, we can find common ground and work towards solutions with respect. At Inform Your Community, we know the best way to talk about difficult topics is to talk about difficult topics. We're here to educate, bridge gaps, and encourage dialogue by providing engaging, welcoming, and meaningful events that discuss the timely civic issues that matter to you most. At informyourcommunity.org, we foster an environment of civility and respect. Here, we value productive dialogue over hostility and strive for understanding. To learn more about a movement that believes in the power of respectful discourse to heal our communities and address crucial issues that you care about, please visit informyourcommunity.org. We have a motto at Inform Your Community: civility, not hostility.
More than 6 million kids in the U.S. have ADHD, and many aren't getting the support they need. At understood.org, we can help. Sometimes in class, the only thing your child can focus on are the thoughts racing through their head.
Why am I always falling behind? Why do I feel so alone? So different.
Your child is looking to you for answers. But as a parent, you probably have a lot of questions too. What should I do next? Where do I even start? At understood.org, we provide parents with the resources they need to help kids with ADHD thrive. Your child wants to thrive. Be the reason they do. Visit understood.org/the reason to get started.
Tune in this Saturday at 8 a.m. for Conversations with the Commissioners, hosted by Chairman Omar Sabir. Learn more about voting and how elections are run in Philadelphia by joining the conversation exclusively on Word Radio, Black Talk Media.
Oh no, what's the word, boy? What's the word? What's the word?
WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
You're listening to Love and Life with Carol Riddick on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Well, hey there, family. Welcome back. You are tuned in to Love and Life with Carol Riddick right here on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. Family, I want to thank you. And Nick, you too. Thank you for obliging me. You know, when I see these stories and they catch my attention, I like to share this stuff with you all. I don't know if half the time I don't know if you've seen the stories or have read them or heard them, but they're of interest to me. So I feel like they might be of interest to you too. So thank you. Thank you so much for obliging me. I was sharing with you that we have a guest in this hour. And I'm so anxious to have this conversation. I'm excited to have this conversation. Our guest tonight is Antwone Fisher, who is an American. Well, he's a Renaissance man. Let's just say that. But he's a screenwriter, a poet, a lecturer, a best-selling author, college professor. I mean, there's so much. But I'd rather not have me sit and tell you who he is. I'd just rather have you join the conversation. So, family, without further ado, I invite you to the conversation with Antwone Fisher. Well, hello there. How are you? Can you hear me well, Antwone? Can you hear me well? You can hear me. I can't hear you. I'm having some sound issues here. Okay. Wait, let me see. Niall, can you hear anything on your end? Because I'm not hearing Antwone here.
No, I can't hear.
Nick. I'm Niall and Nick. Look, I'm getting you confused. Antwone, we can't hear you on our end. We're trying to, let's see. We cannot, we can't hear you. Okay, let's see. We're going to try to work this out. Antwone, I'm going to ask you a quick favor. Would you mind logging out and logging back in? Sometimes there's a disconnect. If you don't mind. Maybe that'll be helpful. All right there, family. We're going to see if this works. Hopefully, prayerfully it does. You know how that is. You already know. I tell y'all all the time, the devil is always trying to get into the details, and he is never welcome. All right. So we're going to work it out. We're going to work it out because I'm anxious to have this conversation. Oh, Nasir, thank you. Wait, so Abbott Elementary comes on tonight. Oh, it comes on Wednesdays. See, I couldn't have even guessed it. I could not have guessed it. I'm always catching it on Hulu. Always. I do want to share some more of our love lights are checking in. Miss Audrey, hi there. She shares regarding the first female African-American lawyer. In tribute, there is a Charlotte Ray Award, honors to outstanding African-American lawyer in the Washington, D.C. location. Miss Audrey, thank you for that. Thank you so much for that. That is so appreciated. I'm going to try to see if we can't get Antwone now. I think we have you.
Hey.
Hey there, how are you today?
Good. You can hear me now?
Yes, I can. I'm jealous. It looks all comfortable. It looks so cozy. You sitting, enjoying the outdoors?
Yes, I'm at a park, so you might hear some kids every now and then. That's all right. I had to stop. I was on my way trying to get home so I could do this, but I wasn't going to make it, so I stopped at this beautiful park. I like to hang out, and
You sound like me. There's a wildlife refuge that I like to go to. I like nature, so that sounds on par. Oh, wait a minute,
Yeah.
Nick, do you hear that? I'm hearing some sort of static or noise. Do you hear that, Nick?
Yeah, it might be the headphones.
Oh, it might be the headphones. Okay. All right. Well, tell me. You let me know if how bad it is, or if we can work with it. You'll let me know, please. Okay. So Antwone, I want to jump right in. First, I just want to say thank you. The movie Antwone Fisher is one of my all-time favorites. So I want to thank you for your transparency and your honesty, because it was so inspirational to me. So I imagine that it was so inspirational to so many more. But just because it meant so much to me, just thank you for sharing, because that took a lot.
Thank you. Even when I was writing it, I didn't know that it would evolve into all that it evolved to. I didn't even understand the effect that would have on other people. I was saw it as an opportunity because the opportunity came to write my story as a movie. as a screenplay. And so in the course of writing it, I discovered that I had a lot to unload. And it wasn't easy because I didn't know to hide anything
Oh wow.
or to worry about what people might think. I just wrote it the way I felt like, I should
Mhm.
write it. And so, yeah, so it's still around after 21 years.
I still watch it. I
Yeah.
watch it repeatedly. It's one of those, like I said, it's one of my all-time favorites. It truly is. And every single time I watch the movie, I feel like it's my first time watching it.
Wow.
I No, I really do. I emote. It's funny. I emote the same way. I cry at the same parts. I laugh at the same parts, but it's always as if it's my first time seeing it.
I think because some of the issues that I had, other people have them, or they know people who went through similar things,
Mhm.
and it wasn't, unique to me. And so, unfortunately, those kinds of things still go on, and people are coming along and they're discovering the movie, and they're younger
Right.
and have had similar lives. So it's kind of relevant. It's unfortunately
But
even
oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you
no,
off.
no, go ahead.
I was going to say, you said it's kind of relevant. Unfortunately, I think I see the beauty in it because it's relatable and because it offers an outlet. It offers others to open up as well and to share.
But the unfortunate part of it is that people are going through it still,
Agreed. Agreed.
and that's what's unfortunate.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I do agree with that. I do agree wholeheartedly with that. And so now I was trying to do some reading to gather some info, and I have a question for you. I read that your mother named you after Fats Domino because his first name was Antoine. Is that true?
Yes, it was her favorite. She told me that it was her favorite musician that she liked when she was growing up, and yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
I
My
read.
middle,
I,
huh?
no, go ahead.
My middle name is Quentin, and she named me after a boy who she liked in elementary school. So, so it's
Wow.
Antwone Quentin Fisher. That's how I got it.
So when you were writing the screenplay, is what we see like the only draft of what you wrote, or did you write it several times before you
Oh,
decided this was the
I
one?
I wrote that I wrote it 41 times before it got sold. But then after that, over the 10 years before it got made, I had written even more drafts because the studios and then Denzel had notes and other people had notes. But in the end, they decided to shoot the original script,
Oh wow.
which was interesting. But, you know, that was fine. I had an opportunity to work with a lot of people, different people, and
Mhm.
I I enjoy that part. Once the screenplay was written, of course, I had to work on it. I I I learned how to disassociate myself to some degree,
Okay.
you know, to be able to write it and not make it so personal to myself.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I can't imagine. I can't imagine. The one thing that I thought of today that I had not thought of in the past was writing always a passion of yours, or
Well,
was that something that developed in your
you
adult
know,
life?
I developed writing screenplays and books and that kind of thing in my adult life. But I used to write poems when I was a kid. Uh, I liked soul music when I was a kid, and I realized when I was young that they were telling stories. I had a
Mhm.
beginning, middle, and end, and I really liked the dramatics and stylistics, those kind of. And it also, and I thought that I could express myself that way too. But when I wrote, my story always came out. Uh,
Mm.
So I'm
Mm.
dyslexic, so it's hard for me, even still. I have a difficult time reading, but uh, you know, if it's something you want to do, you have to be able, you have to read. If you want to be
Mhm.
a good writer, And so even though it's always been a struggle for me, I, you know, just do it, just try my best at everything.
I was going to say it. You definitely have um, conquered that. Some of my babies, I work with children at times, and some of my babies have dyslexia, and I always find pleasure in sharing stories of human beings like yourself who are successful, because it brightens them up, and it gives them hope,
Yeah.
and they really enjoy hearing stories of other people who have dyslexia and are able, to work with it and through it. So, and these are little babies, first through fifth
Yeah.
grade, so they love those stories.
You know, early on, they didn't, I was really struggling sometimes. But, uh, now they have apps like Speechify and things like that can read your writing back to you. Even the program that I use to write screenplays will read the screenplay back to me. And when yeah, I grab one of my kids and sit them down and make them read to me. My wife reads to me. If I'm having a hard time reading that day and I need to get it done, I just snatch somebody up and say, "Hey, read this."
I love
Yeah,
that. That listen, that's first of all, that's what we consider ourselves here as family, and you need a
yeah.
support system. That's
Takes
what
a
it's all
village,
about.
right? It takes
It
a
sure
village.
does.
Yeah,
You missed it in the beginning. I say hello to our tribe and our village because that's what we are. That's what we are, and we need
yeah,
each other. Now, I do want to
yeah.
share. I wanted to share with you some of our family members are checking in. One of our family members, Gary Bryant, he shares, "You are awesome. This brother is awesome." And Eric shares, "Hello, Antwone Fisher. Big welcome to the WURD platform this evening. In creating and writing Antwone Fisher, what made you turn down so many offers initially before you decided to pair with 20th Century Fox? And did the excitement of having Denzel Washington directing it sway you in any way?"
Well, when I started, I actually found my family when I was working at the movie studio. I wrote it the way I wrote it uh, for the film because if I got out of the Navy and then found my family, then all the characters who were in the movie couldn't be in the movie anymore. Denzel couldn't be in the movie, no one. So we have a whole new cast from when I'm outside of the Navy. So for the movie, I had to write it as if I found my family while I was in. But I found them when I was working at the movie studio. I found my father's family, and I wanted to go and meet them, and I met them, and I came back. Um, People were saying, "Hey, sound like my story would make a good film, a good movie," and so I said I wanted to write it, but no one would agree to let me write it. They said, I had never been to college, hadn't had any writing experience, so I got some legal pads and started writing it by hand. And so I met this producer through a friend of mine. uh, he was a young producer at the time. We were the same age, and his name was Todd Black. And he read some of my writing and said he thought I had writing talent. So he told me I should quit that job at Sony Pictures as a security guard, and they had some offices at the 20th Century Fox lot, and that he would teach me how to write a screenplay. And so I went there, and his partner, his name was Jason, and I wrote 41 versions, or turned in 41 different drafts of Antwone Fisher before one day he called me and said, "Hey, I sold your screenplay. You should go to News Corp and pick up your check." And I'm dyslexic, so when I got the check, it was uh, uh, you know $2,500. But when I really looked at it, it was $250,000. I thought I couldn't read the number, right? But anyway, that's how I actually did it. Todd Black, actually, he's a huge producer now. He does a lot of movies with Denzel, like Fences, and that cowboy movie Denzel was in. I forget the name of it.
Mm-hmm.
And he's did Equalizer movies with Denzel. and some other movies. He's a big producer now, and we're all still friends. That movie, usually when people make films together, they all kind of go their separate ways when the filming is over and everything. But everybody is still kind of in touch. Denzel, Derek, who played me, and Todd, and you know, Viola, everybody. You know.
That can I please tell you that's a hug to my heart because I was so hoping that you all still maintain some sort of contact. I was really hoping because the film is so touching, so touching, um, and to know that you all actually have a relationship outside of working together.
Yeah. Well, it's not that close. Like I haven't seen Denzel maybe about a year, but I talked to him. Or I heard from him just a few months ago. I
Antoine, you
talked.
said about a year. Listen, I have never talked to, well, not, I have talked to Denzel. Maybe like it's been about a year. Well, listen, last time I talked to Denzel was about
Uh,
15 years ago.
well, I talked to him, communicated with him a couple months ago, but I physically seen him. I haven't physically seen him. He works a lot. Denzel does,
He
and
does.
he's like all over the world. He is, and so yeah, I talked to Derek, a few weeks ago, and everybody's kind of like, Hollywood. I mean, Hollywood out here, Black Hollywood is, the Black people who work in Hollywood. It's not that many of us, so
Mm-hmm.
you know, not many of us that make it to a certain level, and so it's kind of like you run into people all the time because if you're going to have a function that surrounds African American filmmaking, you might run into the same people all the time. You just know
Mm-hmm.
them.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. Well, it's time for
Yeah.
us to take a commercial break. Family, stay with us because we will be right back.
Is your child stuck in a school that doesn't meet their needs? What if you had $10,000 to send them to the school of your choice? It's possible. Lawmakers are considering a program to offer kids a free scholarship to better, safer schools. If enacted, your children could each qualify for up to $10,000. But lawmakers must hear that parents like you need these scholarships. Visit LifelineScholarships.com to learn more and secure your child's future. Paid for by Commonwealth Foundation.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. At 4 a.m, my phone rang. They said, "I regret to inform you that your husband was wounded in action." Victor sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. I was doing school full time, and I was also then caring for Victor. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself. I just didn't want to forget that I also had goals and that I also had a life. What I did is I challenged Victor to meet me halfway. There are almost 6 million military and veteran caregivers across the nation. We have our own journey, and we can fulfill that journey at the same time that we are helping our loved one.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Many of our U.S. veterans and service members face challenges. At the Bob Woodward Foundation, we invest in solutions to help support them in the next chapter of their lives. Learn more about our work at bobwoodwardfoundation.org/success.
Tune in to Word Radio this Saturday at 10 a.m. for Saturdays with City Council. Join conversations that matter to your community with your local City Council members.
We're celebrating Black influence and Black excellence worldwide on the home of progressive Black talk media, WURD.
You're listening to Love and Life with Carol Riddick on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
And we are back. Welcome back, family. Welcome back to Love and Life with Carol Riddick, right here on WURD. We are talking with Antwone Fisher tonight, and I am beyond excited about this conversation. You inspire me so much. Just everything about your life story is so inspirational, and I could not wait to have this conversation with you, with our family members. I really couldn't. You were sharing about having some of like real life in the script and some not. I'm always curious to know where you and your wife actually met.
We met on the Sony Picture Studio lot, where I had, where I was a security guard.
Okay.
But I met her after I became a screenwriter, and I just happened to be on the lot because I had to go to a meeting about a screenplay I was writing for a studio, and she worked for a company that provided a service for Sony Pictures, and I saw her, and we met, and I don't know, we met. Let's say we met in April, and then we got married December 1st.
Oh wow! Oh
Yeah.
wow!
Well, we've been married 27 years, and we have 2 kids, 2
I
girls.
love it. You see, that story sounds like my aunt and uncle. They met and they married 3 months later, and
Yeah,
they've been married 59 years now. They're
yeah,
coming up on their 59th wedding anniversary, actually. So yeah, well, they say when you know, you know. So
yeah.
there are no doubts about that. But I was so curious. Our family members are commenting. Gary shares he is so much enjoying this dialogue. And Henry Purifor, hi there, Henry. He shares Antwone Fisher was such an awesome movie. It encourages others to know that they can survive. I love that. I love that. Eric asks, Antwone, since the tremendous success of your movie and its continued impact in the Black cinema, are there any other books, movies in the works?
Well, I'm writing a movie. I've already written it, but uh, hopefully this movie will get made. But I was a screenwriter before Antwone Fisher came out. I wrote Antwone Fisher in '93, and it didn't get made until 10 years later. Like it came out in 2003, 2002, and so anyway, I rewrote the first Rush Hour. I worked on Money Talks.
Yes.
And I've been writing screenplays. Some, the studios commission a lot of screenplays to be written over the course of a year, and they don't even make half of them, maybe not even 1/4 of them that they have written. But
Wow.
I work on movies, you know, working on a dialogue for other movies. And for all these years, I think I've been over through 30 years now working in Hollywood, writing movies, script doctoring, they call it, working
Yes.
on, doing all of that and writing scripts. My
And
job is just writing scripts. Movies don't always get made. If a movie gets made, that's really good because, they seldom so many screenplays in comparison to movies getting made
okay.
is big. So yeah, so my job as a writer, I always get paid because when I finish writing a screenplay, I get paid. So if the movie never gets made, I still get paid.
Well,
So
that's a wonderful thing.
yeah, the writer is the one that gets paid. The producer can't get paid until the first day of shooting. Same way with the actors and the director. So nobody gets paid except the writer. So it's a good job to have because at least you can, if you can do it, writing screenplays is not easy.
So, and I'm glad you shared that because I was going to ask you about that as well because I'd read that you rewrote the scripts for Money Talks, Rush Hour. Um,
ATL.
yeah, I was. Yep. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness, I got that too. ATL. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was reading all of this saying I had no clue. I had no idea
Yeah.
until I actually, went to do some research
Well,
to talk with you.
they don't. The studios don't sell movies with writers or
Mhm.
cinematographers or cameramen, and there's a lot. It takes a lot of people to make a movie, and that includes the writer. But they sell the movies usually with the actor. Just
Mhm.
like if you
Mhm.
have a Coca-Cola bottle, uh, you you know that logo that they have. They put it on the bottle.
Mhm.
But Pepsi and RC Cola, they all look the same if it didn't have a label on it. So, actors are important because that's who they use to sell the usually sell the movie with. But if a writer has a name, like I have a name now, so
Mhm.
yes, they can help sell a movie, but not totally. If people like my writing, people might go just because I wrote it and just to see what it is. But really, if you have Denzel's name on it, it's really gonna make people want to come see the movie. If you put the cinematographer's name on it, uh, the director of photography, you put his name on it, they may not come. But when you look at a movie, the director of photography is
Yeah.
responsible for everything that you see, the color, uh, the way it looks, but they don't really get the credit for
Credit,
the
no.
part where you enjoy. So it takes a
Y-
lot of talented people.
It's so interesting that you say that because I'm the nerd that looks at all the credits. So I'm always looking, I'm watching for the screen credits to roll because I want to see who did what, and everything always is always so quick that you really can't grasp everything. But they should put everybody.
They do put, well, they put everybody on the credits, but people like to focus in on the label, and you have to put
Yeah.
the star gets to be the one out front, which is
Right.
fine. But I'll tell you this, the opening of Antwone Fisher, when I had this dream when I was a kid, so Denzel felt that we should open the movie with that dream, the way Antwone Fisher opens. And
Oh,
when I wrote the screenplay, all the characters in the movie were dressed in slave clothing, like the woman who greeted me at the beginning of that dream scene. But Sharon Davis, she did the clothing. She's the costumer.
okay.
She called me and said, "No, Antoine, these should be your relatives from the time we came to this country or brought here till now. So I want to clothe everybody from the 1600s to 1800s, you know, all the way up to modern times." So when you look at the movie, I didn't, it takes a lot of people to make a movie, and that was one of her contributions, and that she clothed everybody in clothing that spanned the time that we were brought here as slaves all the way up to present day. So that was very important thing. Uh, she's not a director or the writer or the producer or the star, but she made a big impact on people who saw that scene.
So
Uh,
powerful.
yeah, and so it takes a lot of, I keep saying it takes a lot of people to make a movie great. You could have great writing, but if the actors are not good, the movie's not going to come across. Or the cinematographer, if he doesn't color the movie or his shots, the way he makes the film look,
Hmm.
uh, it won't be enjoyable. So I like to because I know about what happens in the background. I really have a lot of um, you know I think a lot of all the people it takes to make a movie. Uh, yeah.
Mm. Now of course, I'm going to look at the movie through another lens. Like I said, I watch it all the time, but now I have another way of seeing the movie. I do want to share some comments, but I'm going to hold them until we come back from this commercial break. Family, stay with us because we are coming right back.
It's the WURD Hot 60. Hot 60. Here's the hottest 60 seconds you missed on Evening Words.
Senator Lori Berman is a lifelong Democrat who's fought hard for progressive values. On the day that the Dodd decision came, on the day that essentially Roe v. Wade was overturned, what was happening in your office and in your workspace as that decision came down the pipe?
Yeah, I have been in the Florida legislature now for 14 years, and it was during the summer when Roe v. Wade was overturned, so we were not in the legislative session. Mm-hmm. But I remember being so sad and so disappointed to hear that it had been overturned. I was not totally surprised, unfortunately, because the way the court had been stacked. We had been anticipating something like this, and we knew that Florida and many other states were going to also make it harder for people to get abortions because Roe v. Wade was overturned. Roe v. Wade was really the one thing that was stopping all these states from having very, very restrictive abortion laws, and now that's exactly what happened.
And that's your hottest 60 seconds from Evening Words on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Word Radio Digital Tip of the Month with Stephanie Humphrey is brought to you by Comcast.
Are you looking for a Black-owned business in the greater Philadelphia region? Katika.us, that's Katika, is an online directory showcasing everything from restaurants, barbershops, and beauty salons to attorneys, accountants, and contractors. Katika's mission is to accelerate equality for the Black community by connecting Black businesses with conscious consumers. If you're looking for a business, you can easily search for one in your area. And if you are a Black-owned biz, you can list your business on the platform for free. Katika also hosts interactive community events like Black History Tours or wine tastings to engage and build community all across the city of Philadelphia. Let's all do what we can to support the businesses in our own backyards by visiting Katika.us. Stay tuned to WURD for more tips and stay connected with us at wordradio.com.
Are you looking for a new job? Are you looking to make an impact on Philadelphia's youth? Join the Philadelphia Department of Human Services. The department hires social workers and juvenile detention counselors year-round. You'll receive paid training and support, benefits, and paid time off. Learn more about this career opportunity at phila.gov/DHS. That's phila.gov/DHS. Get your career started with the Philadelphia Department of Human Services today.
Wish your life came with a warning app?
That dog does not want to be petted.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Want to be heard on Word?
Yes, this is Miss Renee King out of Philadelphia.
Dial 215-634-8065 to join the conversation. Outside of Philly, dial 1-866-361-0900. First-time caller? Great. We would love to hear from you. Word is the voice of the African American community, so make yours heard. Please limit calls to once per day. Spread the word and tell a friend to tune in and join the conversation. June is Black Music Month, and this year, the WURD Message in the Music series presents Trans-Afro Express, the global impact of African, Caribbean, and African American music. Join us on Friday, June 14th from 6 p.m. until 11 p.m. at World Cafe Live, 3025 Walnut Street. This event features a panel discussion, live performances, and the flyest Afrobeat, reggae, hip-hop, and R&B dance party in Philly. If you love to dance and you want to learn more about the global impact of our music, then join us Friday, June 14th from 6 p.m. until 11 p.m. at World Cafe Live. Admission is $20 in advance, $25 at the door. Get your tickets now at wordradio.com. This Black Music Month event is in partnership with Fun Times Magazine and brought to you by the Pennsylvania Lottery, Comcast, Keystone First, and Pico. We are the home of progressive Black Talk Media. This is WURD 900 AM and 96.1 FM, Philadelphia. Streaming online on wordradio.com and the Word Radio app.
What is love?
You're listening to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
I think I know what love is.
Well, hey there, family. Welcome back. Welcome to the top of the second hour of Love and Life with Carol Riddick, right here on WURD. We are talking with Antwone Fisher in this hour. Well, we're talking with him tonight, I should say. And right, I could, you hear me over here? I can't get it together. Antwone, let me tell you, I'm all over the place because I have so many questions, so much to ask you about.
Okay.
I should have just said, in the beginning, look, I'm going to jump all over the place. So just rock and roll with me. But
Okay.
I would be remiss, number one, if I did not say congratulations. I don't think I said congratulations to you when you shared about you and your wife. Listen, Black Hollywood, from what I understand, well, Hollywood period, working in and around Hollywood, is rough on a couple. But congratulations to the two of you.
Yeah, well, we were busy raising our daughters. We don't go to many parties and that kind of thing. I know very mellow people. There's a lot of mellow people here, but the ones who squeak, they're the ones that get the attention.
Yes, yeah, the squeaky wheel gets the oil. That's what.
Yeah.
That's what I've been told. You know what? I
Yeah.
want to ask you. I read it was said to be a quote of yours, and I want to ask you about it. I'm curious to know if you remember, number one, well, if this quote is yours, and if you remember and where you were in life when you shared this. But it reads, life often has a way of making people feel small and unimportant. But if you find a way to express yourself through writing, to put your ideas and stories on paper, you'll feel more consequential. No one should pass through time without writing their thoughts and experiences down for others to learn from. Even if only one person, a family member, reads something you wrote long after you've gone, you live on. So writing gives you power. Writing gives you immortality.
Yes, that was me.
That was you.
I was thinking about myself, and sometimes I'm not that serious, but at the time I think that there was a lot going on, and uh, yeah, I did write that.
you, you said, "Oh yeah, that was me. That was me."
Yeah.
I was so curious to know where you were in life when you wrote this and when you shared this.
Well, I had finished the book, my memoir, and I had finished the screenplay, and it was before. I think it was a period before the movie actually came out, and I had begun to see the power of writing, the effect it had on people. Uh,
Hmm.
Seems like honesty really has the ring of truth that affects people the most. And I was kind of struck by uh, writing and people sitting down, spending their time to read or listen to what you have to say.
Mhm.
Um, and if you can say something profound, that's even better. Like that.
I mean, seriously, it
Oh,
affected me. It stayed with me. I said, I've got to ask him about this.
yeah, well, it's true. I mean, if you like, for example, I never thought that my memoir would be so successful. There was someone uh, was trying to talk me out of writing it. I wrote the
Oh.
screenplay first, and it seemed like they weren't going to make the movie. But I had opened myself up, and I was growing really disappointed that I had exposed myself, and it didn't happen. Wasn't going to happen. So I got a deal to write. Uh, a book. So I wrote the book, and it became a New York Times bestseller like pretty quick. I think that's what really inspired them to say, "Let's make the movie," because the book had become so successful. And I was starting to understand uh, the power of writing. And when you like me, I don't feel like I communicate well speaking, but writing, if I had to write down what I want to say, um, I do very well, extremely well, I think. Now that I'm the age I am and I've been writing for all this time, I finally feel like comfortable to say that, yes, I am a good writer. It takes a while. It takes a while too. Let's say I started in 92 and in 2024, I have come to the conclusion, finally, that I'm a good writer.
Well, we are happy that you have, okay, because we know that you are a great writer. And like you've affected so many of us. And how about um if I might say so myself, if I might speak for some of you family, didn't even know, because I did not know until today that you doctored the scripts. You rewrote for Money Talks and Rush Hour and ATL. I had no idea that you did script
Yes,
writing for that. No idea until today.
writing screenplays is not the only job that a writer does. You know, some writers are good at writing action, but
Mm-hmm.
then, of course, in the action movies, there's dialogue and stories, but they're not good at writing dialogue. That emotional dialogue, or the kind of dialogue that make people think, and you know so they have to give it to someone else. That's why sometimes when you see some movies, it has a screenplay by this person, this person, because they shared in the creation of the thing. When you
Wow.
see written by, it means that one person wrote the whole movie alone. So
Wow.
everybody's not good at writing everything that it requires to make a decent movie.
That makes so much sense, Antoine. First of all, I can't thank you enough for this education, because I'm learning so much in our conversation about what it is that you all do, and I would love for you to share with us about your book of poetry, "Who Will Cry for the Little Boy."
Oh, that poem, "Who Will Cry for the Little Boy." You remember I told you when I was a kid, I was writing poems, and
Yes.
it started because I love soul music so much, and in those days they were all stories. I recognized them as telling stories, and so I started writing, and it would always turn into something personal for me.
Hmm.
And then I realized, oh, I was getting some kind of relief by writing my feelings down. And
Mm.
so I would write, and then I would destroy what I wrote. Like I would
Uh,
write about my foster mother or my friend, and then I would destroy it, but it would give me some relief to write it.
to write it.
Who Cried for the Little Boy? I was at an orphanage in Cleveland called the Metzenbaum Children's Center, and I had just been taken out of a foster home. They put me there, and I was 16. No, I was 14 when that happened. And I wrote that, and I destroyed it, but I never forgot it. And then when I was in the Navy, and the commander asked me, I told him I like to write, and he told me to write something. I wrote that poem, and I told him I had written it a long time ago. I just never forgot it. And then when I put it in the movie and I put it in the book, I think I was asked, did I have any other poetry, and I did. And so they
Mm.
asked me if I wanted to publish it. So yeah,
Wow.
so I got a deal at William Morrow. They published it. It was
Wow.
pretty successful. It still sells, I guess.
Yes, yes, yeah. You said that. So yes, of course it does. We listen. I want to take a moment to go to the phone lines. Our beloved Ron is on the phone lines. Ron, thank you for your patience and welcome to the conversation.
Yes, I'm glad being here. Cal, before I want to make comments, I have a question for you, sir, at the end of my three quick comments I want to make. First of all, I want to talk about the Caribbean. You mentioned that in your early coming on.
Yes.
Banana. Me want to go home. 6 feet, 7 foot, 8 feet tall. Come, Mr. Taliban, Tally Banana. Daylight come and we want to go home. Now, talk about Howham School. I was very fortunate to meet a lot of ladies who went to that school there. And number one, they certainly, penmanship was number one coming out of that school. I knew Mecca, I knew quite a few ladies went there, and the penmanship. This one particular lady who I knew, that they paid her, people would pay her to write letters. If you ever see the writing that they did the Constitution, was something like that. And so that penmanship in Harlem, and I'm just glad that all the persons that went to Harlem, that he held y'all in the hand of his power, the one that come out of that spiritual church there. My other comments I want to talk about, and that is this. You know, someone asked some lady, if Ryan took you out, is he very boring? And I said to the person, if you go out with me, before you go out with me, you're going to come in my arms and receive your blessing that I chose you to go take you out. And I was also saying, Cal, my cup runneth over. I am so glad, and when I'm saying glad, that we have such a program, and I cannot compliment you enough. No. And what I'm talking about, sir, I say it to Cal family, sir, and my closing statement will be directed to you. And I say it to Cal family, if they're listening, what a precious soul that they have. No hanky-panky with me, no foolishness coming from me. I have never said anything out of the way to Cal. It would be an insult to her. Cal do not flirt. She do not do none of those things. Her beauty, her confidence from within has got her where she's at today. And who wouldn't care for a person like her? I will be forever grateful because she showed me dignity. I know a lot of women, she shows me dignity, no flirtation, nothing like that. And so I'm very appreciative of her. My question to you, sir, by you being a writer, could you tell me who wrote the Book of Love? Once again, my question to you, who wrote that Book of Love, sir? Now,
I have no idea.
The Book of Love, Ron? Is that what you're asking? The Book of Love?
Yes, go. Cal, here we go, Cal. Excuse me, sir, I'm a little unorthodox. I was not trained in the institutions of indoctrination. But let me say this, who wrote the Book of Love, sir? Was the man that picked up his pen and wrote the Holy Bible and wrote the Holy Bible, wrote the Quran. All those are words in that Bible with love and caring. That's whoever that penman man that did that. And because of your writing, sir, you will leave a legacy. I know people say you always say that to people. It's what you do in this work. Your legacy will be lasting for long after you're gone. And that's what I'm saying when it comes to Cal, and people like her have given so much to our city. Could be, I don't know, her finance riches, that's none of my business. But her gift of inspiration to life have made a difference in my life. And if Cal family is listening to anyone else that cared for her, no hanky-panky, I'm truly grateful. Thank you.
Thank you, Ron. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. Tyrone is on line 2. Hi, Tyrone. Thank you for your patience and for joining the conversation. Welcome.
Well, first of all, thank you for being my love. How's my love this evening?
I am well. Thank you, Love Bug.
And it is so wonderful to speak with our writer because right now, in terms of many of the things that are written in the community, it deals with so much negative in the community that we really don't get an opportunity to see the brilliance of our young people, to see the love of our elders. And as Ron was saying in terms of love, you know, as I say to you, that it is just so important that you are on, because what other show are we talking about love? Are we talking about lifting one another up, enjoying one another, being with one another? So I'm with Ron, and brother, I thank you because, you know, I hate to turn on my TV and the only thing I see is drug dealers. The only thing I see is, gangsters. The only thing I see is, the destruction of our people. And my question to you, I mean, is that just the way of the land? It's just that we always got to be seen in a negative light. And my sis, my love, let me just say, every third Tuesday we take our elders out to the movies and take them to lunch. And yesterday it was such a phenomenal day because one of the things that we did is we prayed and wanted to lift up our young folks to have a great summer. We want our young folks to have the greatest summer that they can have.
Mm-hmm.
All the things that we're living through, it gets worse in the summer. So, my brother, we thank you for your positiveness. We thank you for your creativity. And we thank you for putting us in the light of light because we don't get there too often. So thank you. And thank you, my love, for always allowing me to share.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tyrone. James is on line 3, and he's ready to join the conversation as well. Hi, James. Thank you for calling.
Good evening, Ms. Carol.
Good
evening, Mr. Fisher. Mad respect to the both of you.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
Mr. Fisher, as far as being a writer, I've always wanted to be a writer, but I was shy. I never went to college. I just did and dabbled.
Mm-hmm.
And Carol, I would like to send this out to. I would like to recite a poem that I wrote in 12th grade. I was in love with this girl. I can't even remember her name. It's so long ago. But I would like to recite a poem. It's not even copywritten. It's strong.
Okay.
Like the oceans that flow throughout our world. For each current that sways, I think of one girl, hoping that our friendship will grow stronger in time. But for this day, I will pray that she'll be all mine. Love for eternity is what the future might hold. But for this day, I will pray until the sun turns cold. I'm be on you, baby.
Wow, that was good.
Yeah, wait.
So long ago.
Hey, you say you were shy about writing. I don't know why. That was pretty good.
I swear to y'all, on a stack of Bibles.
Oh my goodness, James. Okay, so there's some talent in there because look, I'm sitting here smiling, and Antwone said it was good. Are you still writing?
Off and on, Carol.
Okay. Well, keep writing.
Word.
Keep writing and keep sharing with us. And thank you so much for sharing. Thank you for sharing that with us tonight, and thank you for calling. We so appreciate you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Family, for those of you who have just joined us, first, welcome. Welcome to Love and Life with Carol Riddick right here on WURD. We are talking with the one, the only Antwone Fisher. We're talking about love, we're talking about life, we're talking about everything under the umbrellas of both. Family, I see you commenting. Don't you think I don't see you? And I'm not ignoring you. I promise after this commercial break, I'm going to go to our socials and I'm going to share with Mr. Fisher the love that you are sharing with him. So stay with us, family, because we are coming right back.
Hey WRD family, I'm Eric.
And I'm Kai.
And this is Unpacking, a weekly pop culture and wellness show from a Black queer perspective.
Here we're going to be sharing stories, spilling tea, and unpacking the issues that matter most to our community.
Tune in every Saturday night from 10 to midnight here on 96.1 FM or 900 AM.
Unpack with us while you unwind from your day or get dressed to head down to the bar.
Either way, come on y'all, and let's unpack.
Tune into Unpacking, Saturdays at 10 p.m. only on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
We gathered real Pennsylvania seniors and asked them how they would benefit from an extra $1,000. Here's what they had to say.
Everything is so expensive these days.
Car expenses, repairs.
My groceries, heating costs.
Medications. Sure, I could easily spend $1,000 like that.
Through Pennsylvania's property tax rent rebate program, eligible seniors and adults with disabilities could receive up to $1,000. Check your eligibility and apply online. Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
Only 1 in 5 people with disabilities, including those with autism, are employed, despite many having the skill set and desire to work.
Maybe it's because employers don't know what kind of jobs they can do.
Okay, try me.
What about a programmer?
That is a job for someone with autism.
What about a teacher?
That is a job for someone with autism.
Oh, how about a healthcare worker?
Yes, those are all jobs for someone with autism. The truth is, qualified people with autism can do a lot of different jobs, but often get overlooked due to outdated stigmas and beliefs. Businesses value diversity, but sometimes don't recognize the unique strengths and abilities of the autism community. Introducing WIN, the Workplace Inclusion Now program by Autism Speaks. We help businesses lead the way in inclusive hiring.
Ooh, what about a ranch hand?
Yeah! Sure, that's a job for someone with autism too. To learn more, go to autismspeaks.org/win. That's autismspeaks.org/win.
The job search can be a difficult and frustrating process. Word's Livelihood Initiative was designed to help you find the right opportunity for your next professional move. Check out these recent openings posted on the Livelihood job board at wordworks.com. The Public Health Management Corporation is hiring for exciting roles, including a medical director and registered nurses. For more information on these jobs and others, go to wordworks.com and learn more about the Livelihood Initiative. Brought to you by Word Radio, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Long nose, what's the word, boy? What's the word? What's the word?
WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Let me tell you something, and don't you ever forget it. Success is nothing without someone you love to share it with.
You're listening to Love and Life with Carol Riddick on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Well, hey there, family. Welcome back. You are tuned in to Love and Life with Carol Riddick right here on WURD. We are joined with the one and only Antwone Fisher tonight, and he's obliging. I'm asking about everything, and I love it. I love it. I love it. I can't thank him enough. I want to share with you, Antwone, some of this love that you are receiving. Our very own Miss Audrey shares that she just read Antwone Fisher received honorary Doctor of Humane Letters from Cleveland State University, May 10th, 2003. Happy anniversary to you and Mrs. Lynette Fisher. So there's some love right there. Gary Bryant shares that he can relate. He can relate to the Antwone Fisher movie, and he shares that he just thanking you because he says that this interview is so awesome. So thank you for coming. He's expressing his gratitude for you coming to visit with us. Eric shares that he's in agreement with you. The writers, set designers, the wardrobe people, even the boom guys are valuable assets to making a great movie. To your point, Miss Lily, she's checking in and she's sending love. Ayatunde, hi there, Ayatunde. Garrett shares OMG, the Antwone Fisher. So much respect, so much respect. And one of my favorite films, so moving. So I wanted you to get that love too. Malcolm shares, well, James, he wanted me to tell you that that was a really good poem. But he's saying to you, Antwone, I'm still tripping that you're here, a fellow Navy man. So
Yeah.
he's excited. Yes, yes, yes. And Eric has a question. He's asking, do you have suggestions or advice for individuals who want to or have written a unique screenplay and want it to be seen by the proper individuals?
Well, it's, I hate to say this, but people say it to me all the time. It's a very, very, very tough business.
Mm.
And the thing is, it's always a catch-22. You can't you can't put your screenplay out unless you have an agent, and it's hard to
Mm.
get an agent unless you've had a screenplay produced or bought. Uh, what I would do, I know that there's this writers screenplay competition called Big Break, and it's put on by the company that makes the software that I use to write movies, and that company is called Final Draft, and they have a contest that you can enter, win money, and they fly you out if you can be I think one of the top have one of the top screenplays, and they'll help you get an agent, and through an agent, that's how you really legitimately can get on, because some people will say, yes, I can get you on, I can help you out, and they turn out not to be able to do that, and they may take your work and misuse it, or take from your work. So I would say, Sundance has a screenwriting competition. AFI Film School does. New York Film School, Final Draft. Those are the ones I would use. Uh, you know, Giving your work to other writers,
Mm.
I wouldn't do it, because writers are always looking for ideas, and some are unethical, and they're not really like some writers, just people in general.
Mhm.
Uh, may take from your work, so you have to be careful. If you spend a lot of time writing something and creating something that you think is valuable, you have to be careful who you give it to. And I would work through one of those screenwriting competitions. I would.
We've heard that so many times that you've got to be so careful. I mean, we know it, but we've heard it from so many of our guests that have come, that have shared that very same information. You've got to be so careful when sharing your work. Thank you for that response, Eric. I hope you received that. Um, Antwone, I want to know about your self-improvement instructional book. I read this.
Oh,
A boy should know how to tie a tie and other lessons for succeeding in life. Can you share with us
yes.
about that, please?
Well, how it started, when I joined the Navy, they wore the Admiral style uniform. They had stopped wearing the Crackerjack uniform for a while. And with that uniform, you have to tie a tie. And I could not tie a half Windsor to save my life. And my foster father was a preacher, and he tied a tie all the time. He never taught me how to tie a tie. And that's what I was thinking about when I was in boot camp, getting grilled over not being able to get it. I thought I knew how, because he would tie his tie, my foster father, so fast. I thought I saw him doing it, and that all I had to do was what he did, but I must not have been watching close enough. And I couldn't listen to the instructions that I was given, because I was overconfident about it. And I just felt that, you know, you have to, a part of raising young people is, you have to talk to them.
Hmm.
Not just instruct them on, what they need to be doing around the house, or stay out of trouble, or whatever that, you have to, like, the little things matter too, things like that make a boy feel confident or a girl feel confident.
They do. You're absolutely right about that. And especially now. especially in today's society. Our babies need they need us more than ever, and they need us to talk with them, teach them differently.
Yeah,
It's a different world now.
yeah. You can't get so busy that you can't just go for a walk. I go
Mhm.
for a walk with my kids. I used to do it when they were little. Even now, still all day today, I was with my one of my daughters, uh, walking around, shopping, and that. But in the course of that, you get to put your arm on his shoulder. You get to laugh with her. Because one day she's gonna go off and have her life. And you
Mm.
still see her, but not as often, maybe. But you want to be able to say all the things you think you uh, should say and give her memories where just walking, not doing anything in particular, just laughing and all.
Mhm.
That matters.
Absolutely. Those are the moments that make life. Those are moments that make
I
life.
would have enjoyed that when I was a kid, I think.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I understand that. I can identify. You know what? There was something I forgot to ask you about the movie. What? How did it feel for you to see the movie Antwone Fisher come to fruition? Now it's a twofold, and for it to have been Denzel's directorial debut, for him to direct it. Those two
Uh,
things.
well, I was really honored that Denzel wanted to direct my screenplay as for his first time directing. And it was interesting because he invited me to lunch. And, I hadn't officially met him before, but I worked on the studio lot where his office was. So I would see him all the time.
Oh
I knew
wow.
his niece also, but I didn't know him or Pauletta at the time. But when I came to the restaurant, he said, "You?" I guess he had seen me before, but he knew it was one of the guards that sold the life story, and it was me. He had learned this later, and his wife had read it because I gave the screenplay to his niece, and
Oh.
he read it years later, and he was excited to show his wife, and she said, "Oh, I read that years ago." He was like, "Why? I'm always the last person to hear about stuff," something like that.
Right.
Anyway, he asked me. He said, "Do you want me to direct it?" I was thinking, like, "Wow, hell yeah, I want you to do it."
Right. Right.
He said, "Okay." Yeah, and you know
Wow.
what, Denzel? I'm gonna tell you, I met a lot of people out here working out here,
Mhm.
and Denzel is he is. I'm not saying this just because he did a lot for me, and you know, but he is like one of the best people
Mhm.
that I've ever met, and especially out here when you don't. I mean, he's always the same. He's a funny guy. He always says, "No, I'm not funny. I'm a quick wit." But he's funny, and and a part of him making people relax is to make them laugh,
Mhm.
because some people get really kind of overwhelmed by him being around, and he humanizes himself really quick. He knows how to do it,
He
and
does.
he's just a. I mean, I've known him for a long time, and I have to say that he's done a lot for me. I'm not just saying it for that. He is one of the best people I ever met.
I, you know what? I can say that. I can say that too. Now, I don't have the relationship that you do with him, but I can say that as well. He is a very upstanding human being. He's just a great person, just a great. And Paulette, the two of them together, they make me laugh. They've made me laugh, and every time I've been in their presence, they're just a fun loving couple, just really grounded, really,
Yeah.
just
And
loving life.
I have to say, I've been over their house when they are old fashioned parents too over there when the kids were little. Yeah, old fashioned black parents.
Well, that's a good listen.
Yeah, that's why they all straight and narrow.
Like, uh-huh. Uh-huh. That's exactly why. That is exactly why.
Yeah,
Oh
it's
my goodness.
good people.
As I want to ask you about another one of your works, a documentary. Now, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I believe you wrote and directed it, and
Yes,
this life of mine.
yes. It's, it's about a guy named Leon Gar. When I
Uh-huh.
met him, he was 96, but he lived to be 103. But he came from Ruston, Louisiana. Uh, he was born in 1913. And he came out here, couldn't read and write, but he got into construction with a partner, and he became a millionaire, a multimillionaire. And he opened up a bank. It was a failed savings and loan, and he thought that people in the community wouldn't have anywhere to bank. And so well, I don't know how he did it, but he got the federal government to allow him to create a national bank. So they sent people out to do this. So he had branches all over the place. He even had one in Boston. And
Wow.
he was, I think Magic Johnson and Janet Jackson and some other people bought the bank from him eventually. But he and I spent like from 96 till he died together. And I filmed him. Let me tell you this. He wanted to make a movie at first. And I said, I don't know if they make a movie, studios, we have to let them know clearly what it's going to be about, and they're going to decide. And you never know. They might say no. He said, "Well, why can't we do it?" I said, "I write movies, Mr. God. I don't direct or anything like that." He says, "We need to work together." He said he would say it like that. How come we can't work together? I said, "Well, Mr. God, I don't have any equipment. I don't have nothing." He said, "What if I bought you the equipment? Would you do it?" I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "If I bought you everything you need to make the movie." And I went and asked my wife about it. She said, "Why don't you just go ahead and do it? Just try it." And so he got his grandson and sent me all around LA buying cameras, everything you needed, computers, everything. My house was full of boxes. And he was laughing on the phone. "What you got now? What you getting now?" Anyway, then I didn't know how to put the stuff together. So I got Sony Pictures sent some people over to set everything up in my house. And then I didn't know how to operate the camera. And so it took a while, but I got everything together. And then I got to have to start learning how to edit and then all of that. And I finally did it. And Sony gave me a premiere of it on the Sony Picture Studio lot in the Clark Gable room. Yeah. And we had a big premiere. It was like a lot of people were there. It was, for him, you should have saw him. He was, his eyes were watery. He was crying, and he see himself on the big screen there at the movie studio lot. It was something.
That sounds, I mean, I don't even have the words to describe that, but I mean that's really a dream come true. That was a dream come true for him.
And for me too, because I had never directed a movie, and the studio. If I want to write a movie, or someone said, "Oh, we want Antwone to write it," they don't ask any questions, and they don't grill me or anything. They say, "Okay, you want Antwone to do it? Antwone's doing it." Or if I want to do something, they like it. Okay, but if I said, "Oh, I want to direct a movie," they'll be like, "No, she's not a director. You can't direct a movie." And so he gave me an opportunity that I probably wouldn't have gotten, in Hollywood where I work.
That, my goodness, Antwone. First of all, I should say thank you, Terry Hodges, because Terry said you've got to talk to Antwone. You have got to talk to him. Well, he called you. I'm calling him right now. So Terry, thank you, because this conversation is more than anything for which I had hoped. I'm learning so much more than I even knew that I would. I was so anxious to have this conversation, but I'm learning so much more. I have one more question after this commercial break. We're going to go to commercial break in a moment, but I'm so stuck on the documentary. Family, let me share with you, because I did not tell you the whole title, and in the event you have not seen it and you too want to see it. Well, let me ask you, can we look it up? Is it somewhere we can find it?
Well, there's nowhere you can find it. I used to have it on my website,
Okay.
but I took it down because, after he died, and I just decided to give it to his family.
Oh, nice. Oh, nice. Oh, that
And
was
because he had a lot of great grandchildren who
beautiful.
probably wasn't going to remember him, and the
Nice.
family. He gave me a gift, so I just gave it to him.
Yes. No, and you know what? God bless you and your wife. Thank you for listening to your wife. Thank you to her for saying, go ahead and do it. But thank you to you for listening. God bless the both of you. We're going to take a commercial break. When we come back, to Antwone, I've got one more question for you. So, family,
Okay. All
stay
right.
with us. We'll be right back.
New Jersey's got a lot of summer wow. We got your under the sun wows. Your this is too much fun wows. Your that wine was sublime wows. And your one more time wows. So come see what your wow's gonna be. New Jersey, it's one summer wow after another after another. Find your wow at visitnj.org. New Jersey, little state, lot of wow.
As the weather warms up, more bicyclists take to the road. But what are the rules for sharing the road with bike riders? Pennsylvania law requires drivers to give bicyclists 4 feet of space when passing them at a reduced speed. When approaching a bike rider, slow down, check for oncoming traffic, and decide if you can safely pass while maintaining the 4 feet distance. Know the rules to safely share the road and be safe, PA. Learn more at penndot.gov/safety.
Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
Tune in this Saturday at 3 p.m. for the Friends of Farrakhan show, understanding the ultimate truth of the knowledge of self and the knowledge of God.
Looking for a little dance hall, soca, reggae, and more? Well, tune in to The Caribbean Connection with Lloyd Cummings, Saturdays from 7 till 10 p.m. only on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
It's too black, which means it's too strong.
We're celebrating Black influence and Black excellence worldwide on the home of Progressive Black Talk Media, WURD.
What is love?
You're listening to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
I think I know what love is.
Well, hey there, family. Welcome back. You are tuned in to Love and Life with Carol Riddick right here on WURD. We are talking with Antwone Fisher tonight, and I'm enjoying this conversation. I don't know about you. But Antwone, I was sharing, I have one last question for you. So you were sharing with us earlier about having met your biological family, and you shared, I think you said it was after the Navy. So I'm curious to know how different was meeting your biological family? How much more different was meeting your biological family from the movie?
Well, I wrote the movie, so I kind of like visualized everything that happened. But it was basically like that, and it was around Thanksgiving. It was at Thanksgiving, and my family was there. Some of them I knew because I grew up in the foster home where my family lived in the same neighborhood.
Oh,
I went
wow.
to school with cousins, and they lived a couple streets over, and they didn't know anything about me, and I didn't know about them, but I knew them because we were kids. Yeah,
Look at God. Look at God.
yeah.
So was there an additional sense of completion or wholeness for you, or anything of that nature?
I don't know. It took a long time to process the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, meeting them, it was a lot to take in.
Mm-hmm.
So it took a while, but I think that I was lucky to meet my family when I did because my father's siblings, they were older people, and they lived after about 10 years. They were all gone, and my mother's side of the family, her siblings, they're not all gone, but the ones that I connected with the most are gone. And you know, I met my mother, but I didn't have any history with her, so it was just like somebody I just happened to be meeting in a
Sure.
way. Um, I think my I had the same teacher for the fourth, fifth, and sixth grade. She was more of a mother figure than anybody that I knew when I was a kid, and so and
Mm.
I had known her for years after that. She had the same students in the class, so we all still know each other. Most of us who are still around. So
Okay.
that was kind of like the family for me. Uh, where I lived, I didn't feel that I was welcome there. So when I went to school, that was like going home, and the kids who were there, who I knew for so long, were like my siblings to me. I was always the first kid on the schoolyard playground in the morning, and that kind of thing,
Mm-hmm.
because I enjoyed being around them so much. So I was the kind of person who felt that, people say you can't choose your family. I
Mm-hmm.
got a chance to choose my family. So,
How about that? How about
yeah,
that? Was it your aunt? Was your aunt the first biological relative with whom you connected?
yes. My aunt, she passed away, but she told me, she says, I called and I said, I'm looking for the family of Edward Elkins. And she said, well, if Edward was your father, then you have a big family. In fact, the deputy mayor of Los Angeles is your cousin. You should go see him. And so the mayor of Los Angeles at that time was Tom Bradley, and his deputy mayor was William Elkins, and he was my cousin.
Wow. Wow. What a story. What a life. I mean, so many stories, so many layers. I
Yeah.
just want to thank you again. Thank you so, so much for just coming to share with us, for spending some time with us, and just for, being so open, for answering all of the questions and for your patience.
It's
Thank you.
okay. You're
Thank you
welcome. Thank
so
you.
much. Oh my goodness. I kept saying, listen, family, you all don't know. I said, Antoine, please come and talk with me. And he said, okay. I said, really? Really? I said, Terry, is he going to come talk to me? And he said, yeah, he's going to come talk to you.
It's funny. Yeah.
So thank you again. Just once again, family, Antwone Fisher. Antwone, I'm going to let you go and I'm going to let you enjoy all of that beautiful scenery, that park that you're in. Because
There's a lot of kids around here.
I
I
hear
had to
the
move.
the baby the babies they're having a good time around you.
Yeah, they got scooters. They even zip past my feet. They don't care.
No, no. No, the babies don't care.
Yeah.
Listen, it's their world. It's their world.
Yeah, it's all right.
It is. It is. That's why we love them. Okay.
Yeah.
That's why we love them. But I'm going to let you go so you can navigate the babies on the scooters and all of that good stuff.
Yeah.
Find Please give my love to your family. Thank them as well, because I know you were trying to get some things done. So thank them for lending you to us.
I will.
Thank you. Oh, and be well. We hope you'll come. Will you visit with us again sometime?
Sure, sure, sure.
Sure.
Of
Okay.
course.
Thank you. Thank you, Antoine. All right. Have a great night to you, and we hope to see you again soon.
All right.
All
Bye.
right. Bye bye.
Mhm.
Oh my goodness, family. When I tell you, I was so excited to have that conversation with him. I was so excited to talk with him just about life. He has such an interesting life, a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful life. Um, and just for him to be as open, I kid you not. I was talking to my friend Terry Hodges, and Terry said, "You know who you need to talk to? You need to talk to Antwone. You need to talk to Antwone." And I said, "Antwone Fisher?" And he said, "Absolutely. Yeah, yeah." He said, "Listen, I'll call him. I'll call him." He called and I mean, literally, Terry said, "Yeah, so Carol has this show and she wants you to come on. And will you come on?" He said, "Yeah, of course I will." there wasn't well, he said, what do I have to do? What do you want me to do? I said, well, just share with us about your life. Share with us your story. Just share with us. And he said, oh yeah, that's easy. I can do that. And he was trying so desperately to get home, as he shared when he first joined us. He was trying so desperately to get home so he could talk with us. But it was so nice of him to just go sit in a park so he could talk with us tonight. He said, I didn't want to miss it. And I said I was coming. And he kept apologizing profusely for being, for having taken the time that he did to jump in. But he was right on time. He was right on time. And I thought the conversation was great. And I hope that you did too. I hope you enjoyed it. I do see Joey Dixon has joined us. Hi there, Love Light. He has joined us. I just want to thank you all. I really, really, really want to thank you all. Always, always, every single day. I so appreciate your love, your energy, your support, your attention, your spirit. Just that you hang out, that you show up, that you come. I appreciate you all, and I don't want you to ever think or feel that I take you for granted, because I do not. I do not. I do not. I miss you when I'm not with you. And I so look forward to every night being able to spend some time with you and attention. So I wanted to share that too. Harry, it's all right if you missed it, because you can watch the episode. You can watch the replay. It'll live on the internet. Harry Wims, hi there, Love Light, who's joined us. Nick, I feel like I'm on 1000 right now. I feel so charged. I feel so like, I don't know. I feel so bright right now, having had that conversation. That was a great conversation, don't you think?
Yeah, I think it was very positive.
Yeah, he's a positive person. He just really is, just one of those human beings that you meet and you're just like, wow, he's a great guy. He has great energy. Yes.
Was he on the West Coast?
Yes.
I was wondering why it was so sunny where he was at. I was like, why is it?
You said, where is he? Right?
Where's he at? Yeah.
He's on the West Coast, and he was trying. He said, I'm trying to get there on time. And he was in traffic and all. And I said, well, don't worry about it. It's okay. It's all right. And he said, no, I'm he didn't want to be late. And I was saying, I told him, whatever time you get to us, you will be right on time. You'll be right on time. And he was.
Yeah, that's the benefits of that hybrid system we were talking about yesterday.
Yeah, how about that? And plus, I wanted to share those stories with you all. I want to know if y'all are familiar with what's going on around the city. Y'all rat jacking? Nick, they have a term. They call it rat jacking. Oh, I'm not going to be able to get that out of my spirit. In any event, family, just praising God, from whom all blessings flow. Thank you, God. I'm going to ask that you continue to pray as we all need it. Listen, family, I will not be with you tomorrow night. I won't be here tomorrow night, Nick. I won't be with you tomorrow night. I will be in spirit, but I will not be here in real time with you tomorrow night. Okay. So I just want to let you know that don't be mad. Don't be mad at me, please. Family, just please pray as we all need it. Pray for your loved ones. Pray for your enemies. Pray for those in need. I just want to thank Antwone once again for sharing his life, sharing his time, his energy, his attention, his knowledge, space, spirit, all of that. And you, family, I want to thank you for doing the same. Thank you to Ron and James and Tyrone. Thank you so much. Special thanks to the entire Word family, especially you, Nick and Niall, for all that you do. Happy birthday once again to all of our love lights. Family, we are all in this together, so be good to you, but please be good to those around you. Be careful, be kind. God loves you. And so do I. I sure do. Again, I will not see you tomorrow. So have a great rest of your night, but also have a great weekend. And be sure to join us Monday through Thursday, 7 till 9 p.m. Eastern Time for another edition of Love and Life with Carol Riddick right here on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. Have a good night, family. Bye.